Yo, welcome back to my channel. All right, in this video, I'm gonna talk about, my little light there, I'm gonna talk about how we're passing $100,000 per week, every single week in revenue in our real estate business. What goes into it? How did we get there? And what's the deal with that? Like, is it real? Is it not? My name is Raul Balufe, and I help people get that very first off-market investment deal, whether you want to flip it, whether you want to rent it, or whether you want to wholesale it. I help you get that first deal and scale up all the way up to 5 deals every month online. $100,000 per year. That was my goal. That's probably your goal, or maybe it was your goal. And that's awesome. Once you achieve that, there's typically like a bug in you or a chip on your shoulder that you want a little bit more. And that was me. And I was like, shit, I want a little bit more. So after a couple years, I'm like, okay, I want to get to 100,000 a month. Then you hit that, and then you enjoy that for a little bit, and then you're like, a little bug comes on your shoulder, you're like, shoot, what's next? So I'm like, okay. Recently, I'm like, okay, I would like to get to 100,000 per week, right? If we do a year, we do a month, we do a week, then we do a day, then we do an hour. So I learned that actually from, I think, one of Ty Lopez's videos. He talked about how the more successful you get, the shorter in time you think. And it took me a little bit to like grasp that, but as you start achieving, and you will, if you're probably already there, if you're not there, you will start achieving more. And what I would suggest for you is just to think about time in a little bit shorter perspective, in the sense of like, instead of thinking 100,000 a year, it's better that you think, 8,700 and change per month. And then you could think about that in, 2,000 and change a week. And then you can think about that per 3 days. So the reason you do that is our mind can only think so far. We have an attention span that's very, very short. So it's better to set up weekly, monthly, quarterly goals than actually yearly goals. That's what studies show. So anyways, now to the nitty gritty. How we're passing 100,000 per week in our real estate business. And when I say our real estate business, I mean our real estate wholesale business, wholesale only. And what wholesaling is finding off-market properties, going direct to homeowner, direct to consumer, telling them, hey, we buy houses, we buy ugly houses, and we will make you a cash offer for your property and solve your problems, okay? And then doing that at scale is basically just a marketing and sales business. Now, what's the first step to getting past the 100K a year to 100K a month to now 100K a week, okay? We've done it a few times. We're not doing it every week. We're not there yet, but it has happened this year more than it's happened any other year. So I figured it would be good to at least make this video to show you how we're on the way there. So I can't really say we've accomplished it fully, but we have done it quite a bit this year. So it's pretty exciting stuff. Anyways, first step is the mindset. The mindset, okay? And what the heck, every time I hear somebody talk about mindset, sometimes it freaks me out. I'm like, What I mean by that, it's just a simple belief. It's a simple belief like, okay, I did 100K a year. I could do 100K in the month. Dude, if other people are doing 100K a week, I could do it too. That's the mindset. That's it. That's as far as I'm gonna go with that like hoorah thing. If other people could do it, you can too, okay? So the first step is to believe. Believe you can do it, man. I don't like comparing myself to other people because it ruins happiness. But for a sense of inspiration and a sense of knowing where the measuring stick is or knowing what's possible, comparing your business or your numbers with other people is actually not that bad if you don't let it affect your personal being. Don't let it affect your happiness. Either use it as inspiration or use it as knowledge or use it as insider trade so you can figure things out, not in an illegal way, but like insider knowledge to get better. So once you have that belief, once you're like, okay, Ro, I got it. Yeah, I understand, man. I know people are doing it. I could do 100K a week too. That's fine. Got it. The next step that we had to really think about and dig into is infrastructure. So, and I break this down into 2 questions. I have my notes here, so I'm gonna read it because it's a lot. The first question is, do we have enough of the right people? Do we have enough of the right people in place in our infrastructure to be able to do the $100,000 a week in revenue? Because the reason I asked that question is, I cannot do that by myself. To do $100,000 a week in revenue in wholesaling real estate or in real estate business or almost in any business, it's very challenging to do it on your own, okay? A lot of times you literally physically need other bodies there to answer calls, make offers, send contracts, send emails, close the deals, like all these things. So the first question I had to ask is, if we get the marketing and sales done correctly, right? If we get all the leads in the world, if we get all this, do we have enough people to service all these things to make the 100,000 in the week? So that was the first question we had to ask ourselves and really dive deep. And the second question of infrastructure is, do we have the right system to intake all the things needed to get to the 100,000 a week? Does that make sense? So if we have people and we have the right system behind the people, then that is what makes up the infrastructure to be able to fuel that thing right there, to fill in that bucket. Now we're gonna get a little bit more into the nitty-gritty. So I mentioned this is a marketing and sales business. So we got the mindset, we believe we could do 100K a week. We've done it in the year, we've done it in the month. Now we could do it in the week, okay? So really, truly, this is gonna happen. And then you have to really communicate that to your team if you have a team. Then the next step, is marketing. So we got mindset, we got infrastructure, do we have the right people and the right systems? Then we go into marketing. And the marketing, I break it down to 3 questions. The marketing is, how many leads does it take to get a deal? It's pretty much different for everybody. There's some unspoken rules that it's probably from 20 to 30. It depends on your lead source and stuff. So I'm not really gonna go into that. I have other videos of what it can be for you. And we show our students exactly how to calculate that. But honestly, you just have to know for your business, how many leads, how many people that wanna sell their house does it take for you to get a deal, okay? What is our cost to get a lead? Cost per lead. What is our cost to get one of those leads? That's question number 2. Question number 3, do we have the money to spend, to invest, to get these leads necessary, right? Because we know the cost and we know how many it takes. So then where do we have the money? Do we have access to this money to be able to fund this, okay? So that's the market. That's how I break down the marketing section, right? So we got mindset, we got infrastructure, we got marketing. Now we go down to the sales. I break this down to 3 questions. Sales. Do we have enough salespeople to make 100,000 a week? Okay, that's 400,000 a month. In this business, I've very rarely seen a salesperson do more than 200,000 a month on his own. Okay, so if you want to get to 400,000 or 100,000 a week, it's challenging to think that only one salesperson would do that. Even 2 would be challenging because people have days off. Nobody's perfect. Nobody does every single call perfect. No one closes every deal and things like that. So that is a really important one that I think a lot of people miss out. Some people get stuck with their 1 or 2 sales guys and they're just kind of stagnant there, oh, they're good and they're good. But it's dude, think about it in a broad perspective. 2 guys, the max they'll do at perfection is probably 150,000 each. That's 300,000 a month. So you could kill it, do everything correctly, but you still won't get 100,000 a week with 2 salespeople. That's my opinion. I know people that do it, that do some more, but maybe, I don't know, it's a little different. I would say 9 out of 10 wholesale or real estate companies, it's very challenging to do more than $300,000 in the month with 2 or more salespeople. Still great money, but we're talking about the 100K a week here, right? So what are the conversions per person and as a team? So you can look at your team and say, okay, how many leads are they getting in and how many are they converting to a contract? That's a really important number. So we know how many leads it takes to get to a deal, but for a sales perspective, it's better for us to know how many leads it takes to a contract, and then we'll get to the other side, which is contract to deal. Okay? So what are the conversions per person and then as a team? And then question number 3 is, what are the exact numbers needed to get this? Meaning, what are the exact lead numbers needed to achieve the conversion per person per deal? What I mean by that is, how many leads per salesperson does it take to get a deal? How many leads per salesperson does it take to get the revenue that you want to get? So let's say we have 3 salespeople. Each person needs a certain amount of leads to convert a certain amount of deals to get the revenue. You following me? So you can all break this down into numbers. All right, so we had the mindset, believe it, infrastructure, we had marketing, we went over sales. Now, the next part is dispositions, which is selling properties, okay? To get to 100,000 a week, you need to have that portion figured out as well. And I break this down into 2 questions. Do we have enough people to achieve 100,000 a week? How many people do we think it'll take to sell $100,000 a week of revenue, okay? And typically you have to sell more than 100,000 a week to be able to close 100,000 a week. So we pretty much have to sell about 180,000 in the week and get 180,000 a week of revenue to close 100,000 a week. But right now we'll just talk about 100,000 a week sold. So to sell 100,000 a week, that's gonna take that's about 6 to 7 properties in our business. And 6 to 7 properties for one person per week to sell it, market it, do all that stuff. Although it's possible, it's probably not the simplest. So do we have enough people? That's a question that you have to answer in your business. And then how much revenue does Dispositions need to have available to be able to sell the 100,000? So we estimate it's probably between 150 to 160 in our business. But you have to ask yourself in your business, do you sell every deal you get? Do you project the revenue that you're gonna get and sell it at that exact price every time because you're really good at it? Or do you think you're gonna make a 30,000 profit, then you end up making 15? So this video definitely is not for beginners, but it's a way to open your mind to think about, if you wanna get to that scale, what are some of the questions you have to ask yourself about your business? So it's different for every business. Then operations is the last one. So we got mindset, infrastructure, marketing, sales, dispositions, and now operations. And I had this into one question. Who will be the glue that will keep all this together? Okay, so it's not gonna be organized all the time. No business is. It's not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be like step by step by step, everything's running smoothly. But you do need one person or two, or whatever you determine for your business, that is the glue for the sales team, for the marketing team, for the dispositions. Make sure that the numbers are being tracked. Make sure that there's conversations happening every single day. Make sure that you guys are talking about the right things. Make sure that you are on track to hit the goals, whether it's a daily conversation or weekly, it's up to you. However, there has to be someone that is focused on putting all these pieces together and making sure that that metric, that 100,000 a week, everybody's rowing in that same direction. There has to be so much clarity around that. And that's on the operations role. So, I hope this video was helpful. I know it's not really for newer people, but hopefully this video will open up your mind and inspire you a little bit that anything is possible. I remember it was just a few years ago that I was just doing a few deals a month, and maybe 30, 40,000 a month in revenue, and just doing 40 to 60 deals a year. And although it was making good money and I still lived great and I bought rentals and flips, I just always dream of doing the most I can. I always dream of making the most amount of money I can and hiring a nice big team and getting really smart people to work in our company so that it elevates me to do more and start different businesses and involve them and create this culture. So I always thought, hey, with more revenue every week, I can hire better people or smarter people. And with more revenue every week, it'll give me chances to buy more rentals, and it'll give me chances to start new businesses. It'll give me chances to invest in crypto and new businesses. So I always chase more revenue, but at the same time, I'm really happy with our growth pattern. We're not doing 100,000 every week. So the answer no is not a complete truth that I'm doing it, but it has happened multiple times this year. And I'm really happy about that. So next year, obviously our goal is to do it every single week, but no one's perfect. Nothing happens all the time. But we'll do our absolute best. And I'm gonna track this journey and keep helping videos, keep doing videos that help me. Hopefully they help you. So I'm open to suggestions or criticism. Please, if you guys like this video or know anybody growing their wholesale business or looking to grow their wholesale business, feel free to share them this video or like it and comment or subscribe if you feel inclined to. That helps with the algorithm, helps more fuel to this fire and make the best videos for you. So thank you very much for watching this video. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.